Never a loss for topics.
No, it's easy. You get such a good reaction.
Oh, Jesus, dude. There you go. No. Wow.
Bright lights are back on.
It was actually nice for a couple of seconds. My name is Joe Koenigsmark, and I'm the owner of Angel Dust Cycle Paint. I live in Lakewood, Ohio.
Where's the shop?
My shop is out in Elyria, Ohio. I started in painting just because of my dad having a shop. My dad started in 1957. It was Jerry's Custom Auto Body in little shop in Lakewood, Ohio, which is literally 5 minutes from my house that I'm living in now, which would have been great, would have been an easy commute. But totally more custom body work, custom paint, 60s and 70s stuff. It was all the rage. So yeah, you know, he was a huge part in why I do what I do. And then we moved to Florida for a year. He wanted to work in a van shop because in the 70s, vans were all the rage, and his partner was opening a van shop, so we totally got into doing custom vans. And my dad just hated the Florida weather. So we moved back in 78, and that's when my dad started Jerry's House of Color. We always used the candy paint, House of Color paint, and there was a Junior Conley that used to paint for Barris, and he used to have Junior's House of Color. So we always loved that name, always spraying multiple colors, candy colors. So it just fits. So he restarted Jerry's House of Colors in 78 when we moved back. And so that's my main job, is House of Color, doing custom cars, chopping tops, candy paint, flames. We do a ton of flames. So that just was what I was doing. And then the resurgence of metal flake and that 60s look on motorcycles came back. And I have cabinets full of my dad's old paint. So I'm like, man, what perfect to start, you know, spreading some of this out on motorcycles for friends and stuff. And it didn't really fit the House of Color vibe. So that's why I, you know, came up with the Angel Dust Cycle Paint. It's just, you know, trippy paint, trippy name. Yeah, before I even was employed there after high school, I always was at my dad's shop on the weekends, anytime I could. Even when he was in the garage, I was always helping. So it was my destiny that I was going to be a custom painter and custom body man. Any weekend that I wasn't in school, I was out there causing trouble or actually doing something. And along with me, my brother was also big into cars, young. He was definitely more smarter though. He went into the money aspect of the business. He was the head designer at PPG. So which it worked hand in hand, because anytime I needed a crazy cool color, he could mix it. He always custom painted in his garage too when he wasn't working, but yeah, he's where he makes the cool colors that I got to spray.
And the money, right?
And the money, yeah.
Yeah, what's the deal with 80s and 90s, dude? What's up with that?
Yeah, you know, a lot of guys have just been painting for a few years. You know, I've been in it 34 years, so I've run the gamut in styles. And the 80s, you know, at the time was cool, but when you look at it in pictures now, it doesn't look so cool. I mean, you know, the Miami Vice colors were so hot, and I sprayed a lot of it just because, you know, I want to keep my customers happy. And yeah, there's some times that I question what I was putting in my spray gun, but you know, it's the 80s. Everything evolves. Now it's, you know, the paint styles are coming back, and you know, 60s paint jobs are in vogue now, where, you know, 80s and 90s people wanted checkerboards and splash graphics, and flames are timeless. We've always done tons of flames, but yeah, it's changed immensely. You guys don't know how good you have it. Oh, the Tiki Guy. Everybody loves to hear about the Tiki Guy. A buddy of mine was trying to make them and sell them, and it didn't go over. I think he made 5 of them, which who knows where the other 3. He has one that I actually metal flaked for him. And mine, it was the plan to paint it, but a painter never gets his own shit done. So it was just mostly a wall hanger. And then one trip that we went out to California, I snuck it in my bag and brought it with me. And my wife had a fucking fit. She's like, what the hell are we doing with that? And then I started placing it in weird spots and taking pictures. And he just became a life of his own. And now she gets mad at me if I don't bring him with me. He's been to 3 Hawaiian islands, New York twice, California a bunch of times. He's been all over the United States and in Utah. He's a great part of the family, and he's been in the water, under the water, swimming with fish, and he's getting rusty, but I'll never clean him up because that's his look. And through the years, I've had friends and people sign the backside of them. So it's been an interesting ride for the Tiki Man. And someday he's going to become a coffee table book. I've got so many pictures of him all over, and maybe that'll be his due one day. I'll do a coffee table book and maybe a gallery showing of all these crazy pictures. Painting, for me, even though I've been doing it for 30, 40, to me, every job is a challenge. The guy that says that they're not is lying, because paint doesn't need a reason to fuck up, or we, as painters, don't need a reason to fuck something up. But good painters figure a way to get out of those screw-ups. And, that's why it takes so long. It's not me being slow, it's just, problems. I have a little issue with being slow, but if anybody came to my shop and saw that I'm basically a one-man shop doing 8 cars and a couple bikes all the time, I write checks I can't cash a lot. But thank God I have so many great customers that understand it, and for the most part, don't give me too much crap over it. But to those customers now, I'm sorry if you're waiting for something. I'm not at shop right now, so I can't get it done. Dream projects restoring old Survivor bikes is always cool, because people that know me know how much I love the history of painting and cars and Survivor motorcycles. It's an important part of our history. So a dream job would be restore something like that, or I'm a huge lowrider fan. So my favorite is the Gypsy Rose. To do a motorcycle that would pay homage to that would be something that would be special to me. My own 50 Mercury, it was done in the 80s, early 90s. I tore it apart to redo it. Kids in Life came along, and it sits in my corner of my shop in primer. And I need to get that done. That's probably my biggest goal, is to get that back on the road, because I miss it. My life's not complete without it. If I had to give any advice to new painters, try not to just rehash everything that's out there. I know you got to cut your teeth, but if you don't come up with your own flavor, as my friend Sean would say, you're not going to have a long life in this business. You got to create your own individual look for longevity. And I could say this because I've been in it for so long. If you're just rehashing other people's designs, or just the same design, it's just not going to carry well. So if I had to, I know you got to do some of it, but you got to work on your own flavor and work that into your paints. And sometimes it's hard to get a customer to let you do what you want on a vehicle or motorcycle, but you got to be persistent and do that so you can spread your own love onto a canvas, and then somebody else will see that and go, yeah, that's cool, it's different, I want something like that. And then you can get away from the cookie cutter stuff, because I'll sound like the grumpy old guy, but the paint jobs out there, it is so it's cut and paste, and it's color by numbers, and it's like, okay, we're gonna put this in there and that squares, and it's just, they're making money. That's why I don't want to sound like the grumpy old painter, but at a certain point, our soul is going into those bikes, and you got to express what's inside you on paint, and it can't be what everybody else's expression. It's got to be something of your own. So yeah, I would say that. Other than get a day job, don't paint. Yeah, if anybody wants to hit me up for paint jobs, skate session. I love skating, so we can skate. It's Joe Koenigsmark. The shop is Jerry's House of Kolors. Area code 440-458-6886. Or hit me up on Instagram at Angel Dust Cycle Paint. Yeah, I'm always out there. I'm always at a show. If you see my ugly mug, just run up and say, hey, what's up, man? I'm always down to talk. I'm not shy, as most people know. So yeah, hit me up. Let's do some work. Let's just hang out. Let's get weird.